I'm speaking today to Professor David Cowan, who is winner of the 2020 Socio-Legal Studies Association Prize for contributions to the socio-legal community. Hello, David, and welcome. It'd be great if you could start by telling us a little bit about your background and how you came to be involved in socio-legal studies.
Sure. Thank you, Emma, and thanks for doing this, and also to the community for the prize. It was a real honour, and it made me cry. But in terms of my background, I had a very doctrinal legal education and went to work at the Law Commission as a research assistant before becoming an academic. And I started off doing doctrinal research very, very badly, in truth. And then just through meeting people around and in the community, that's really how I came across it and thought, actually, that there are things that are really important questions that I've missed.
And how did your research and your research interests fit in with your interest in socio-legal studies?
Well, I think it's the questions that people were asking me were essentially about the implementation of law in homelessness and housing more generally. And thinking about that and thinking about the ways in which decisions are made. What lies behind the gut feeling is one of the real questions that I've been seeking to address in my work. And how does that work?
And have you been able to come to any conclusions on that so far?
No, I mean, it's an ongoing research project. We need more research to identify what we mean by the gut feeling, and also it's context specific. And for me in my work, the context or the background context is always the housing crisis and what goes on in the housing crisis, and the different ways in which the housing crisis affects not just ordinary people in their everyday lives, but also decision makers in their everyday lives.
Yeah, thank you. And could you tell us a bit about your involvement in the socio-legal community to date?
So the socio-legal community has been the one thing that has remained really constant throughout my career, and it has been a complete pleasure to be involved in it. First of all, in my colleagues in housing, we've grown up together really, and we've all become really close friends as a result, and that has been particularly sustaining to me intellectually and just also as friends. But the broader community has been something which I've been involved in through taking part in postgraduate events and obviously the annual conference. But also through the what are now called the trustees of the SLSA, and again, that was an amazing community and made me see things differently again, much more broadly. So I think that for me has been really important, but also giving something back to the community through in that way. And in the last 10 years, the other thing that has been a really big part of my academic life has been the Palgrave SocioLegal Series, which has just gone from strength to strength, and I've been really proud of that actually, and the way in which authors have engaged with what we've been trying to do in the series. So that's been really fabulous. Actually, I'm particularly proud of that.
That's excellent. Can you tell us a bit more about that series and how it's evolved?
Sure. So during the during the noughties, I suppose, every time a publisher came through my office door, I'd say, "Have you thought about running a socio-legal series?" And everybody had said no. It's not profitable, until Paul Grave came through my door, and actually at that stage we began to have really good and profitable discussions about what it might look like, and the series began very tentatively, and now we're publishing up to 5 or 6 books per annum, and across the full range of socio-legal studies, and it's just so exciting actually being part of that, and also knowing what's coming up, because we've always got really interesting projects that are going on. Yeah.
And obviously, the introduction of that and the development of that series has been one significant development in the socio-legal community. Do you think there have been any other key changes or developments during your involvement in socio-legal studies in the community?
So over the last 25, 26 years, or however long it is, I think that there have been significant developments in the way in which we think about and use theory in our work, and that's been great, really exciting to see, and to read theoretically inspired work. I think that the other thing is just a range of different types of qualitative work which is now done. I mean, when I started, we were mostly sort of interview based, and now it's just the range is so fantastic and inspiring, and actually really makes me think about the kind of things that I do and how I might do them. I think the one thing that we haven't done as well, it seems to me, is make those advances in the quantitative side, and that is a major challenge. So, but I suppose the other significant change and development is this: when I started doing socio-legal work, I had no training. And I worked alongside others who sort of had training, but now the range and extent of training that's available for scholars is amazing, and actually really exciting as well. So, but we still have, I think, more to do when it comes to thinking about quantitative training.
Well, that leads me quite nicely into my next question, because I was wondering what you think the future holds for socio-legal studies and the socio-legal community.
Well, as I become balding and head towards the sunset of my career, I think the future changes, I think, are just around the kinds of really interesting alternative methodologies that people are using. I think that's something that we see every year at the conference now, is so much thought being given to different ways of obtaining much richer quality data, than we used to sort of think about. We used to be so monochrome, I think, and now it's much more colourful in the way in which we produce and analyse our data. So I think that for me is one of the futures. And I guess the other kind of future is around the politics post lockdowns and all the rest of that. That seems to me to be the really important question as we head out of lockdowns, is about governance, rule making, and just how politics really is going to affect us going forward.
That's going to be a really interesting question. Was there anything else you wanted to add before I finish the recording? Is there anything you feel we haven't covered?
No, I just really wanted to say thank you. Actually, thank you to everybody. I mean, it's just been fantastic to have worked alongside some of the most amazing scholars, and people who themselves are always looking to give back to the community, and that's really what has inspired me throughout my career.
That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much for that, and congratulations again.
Thanks so much, Emma, and thanks for doing this too. Yeah, I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you.